Earlier this season, I think it was the first 2 games of the ACC season, he struggled a little bit. He gave you the credit for helping him out of that slump. I think it was after Christmas break. What exactly did you tell him to push him forward to become the player in the second half of the ACC season that he's capable of being?
Well, one of the things that happened, and you guys know it, you, Corey, when you play in this league, especially as a freshman, if you're playing a lot, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And he had been on such a tear up to that point. He was playing as well as anyone in the country, shooting a great percentage, scoring at a great pace. And with that comes even more attention. And I don't think it was a coincidence that this happened right after he came back home from break. And, when he got back, you could see and feel just the pressure that he felt. And one of the things that we talked to him about was just, just play. Early in the year, you were just playing. You were just having fun. Like, just go out there and ball. Right. And one of the things that we did as a staff was that we kind of took some things off of his plate. We cut down, the amount of time he spent with media. We cut down a lot of the autograph stuff, whether it was, before a game, after a game, practice and things like that. And we just tried to get him back to where it was fun again. And ironically, really his breakout game in the conference, we played NC State. Really, and the other thing was that Jabari was settling. So that was stuff off the court. On the court, Jabari was settling. You look at, you see his body. He's so strong and he's so physical. And he was settling for jump shots and contested jump shots. And I think in the NC State game, if I'm not mistaken, in that first half against them, he took about 8 free throws. And I think once he saw that and he realized, like I should be getting fouled. I should be getting to the line. I should be putting pressure. He started doing that, and he played outstanding the rest of the way in conference play.
He was phenomenal. Of course, being able to, as a freshman, put up the kinds of points and rebounds. He led the conference in rebounds. It speaks so much to the work he was willing to do, not just as a scorer. You think he's ready right away? Everyone talks about him being the player who was most ready for the NBA right away. Do you see that? How he can step right in? Yeah.
I've been around some really good players when I played. Back when I was a player at Duke, the league was, had tremendous talent, as it always does. I coached a kid when I was the head coach that was the #1 pick, in Blake Griffin. Jabari is the most gifted offensive player I've been around. He averaged 19. He shot a good percentage. I think he can average right around that right now in the NBA. It'll take a little bit of an adjustment. And, he'll work. The kid has pride. He does not want to look bad. So, you're reading all these reports and you're seeing these things. The other thing that I find a little bit interesting and somewhat comical is when people say that he doesn't have upside. If you look at him, he had the same injury that Joel Embiid had. Exactly. He had that's what held him out. The difference is that Jabari and his family decided not to have the surgery. And so he played last season, especially at the beginning of the year. He probably was around 85%. And we were very, very careful with what we did with him as far as getting him prepared. So some of his weight issues and conditioning probably had something to do with that. And then also the settling for jump shots, I think, had to do with that because he had to get back adjusted to his body, being healthy. And I think as he goes to the NBA, obviously, his body is better. He went through a whole season where he didn't miss a practice or any games. I think he's going to be tremendous, and I think he's going to continue to grow and get better.
Coming soon on the ACC Digital Network, the 2014 college football season. Follow the ACCDN for comprehensive coverage of the national champs and every ACC school. College football the way you want it. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.